Hey guys, Acura TL here. Just a little bonus video I decided to do regarding the needles and the gauges. There is a way to remove them. The video you saw before was just a safe way to protect yourself just in case you break one. Now for this one, I take absolutely no responsibility for your actions, but I'll show you how to go about it. And first of all, I'll show you why it's not so simple just to pull out the needle sometimes. Because I have a demo gauge here that is broken that I had to replace, and the reason being is you could try and pull on the needle yourself, and sometimes you might be able or be successful at getting it out, but most of the time is when you pull on it you get that center pin. If that center pin comes with it, then you have to replace the gauge. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, because if you try to put it back in, it may seem like it will work, but then eventually it's going to get stuck and it's not going to move anymore, just like that. It's not as free as the hot and cold. So with that, this is probably the best way to do it with a TLS. I would have demonstrated on the TLS that I have right now, but that's a client's and I am not going to break anything today. So in between the gauge and the plastic housing, there is a center pin in the middle of that motor there. You can get a fine long-ended needle nose pliers and put it in and hold that pin in place and keep it nice and tight. Gotta switch hands here because it's a lot easier, and then just pull on the needle and voila, there's no center pin with it. It's still in there. So then you can actually just remove the label and do what you need with it. It's probably a lot easier, but taking a chance to break the needle, it's high risk, but you can still do it. This is just a suggestion. So, and when you're done with it, what I suggest is leave the needle out for now until you actually put the cluster back in, because when you put the key to ignition without turning it over, of course, the pin inside will reset to 0, which then you can set it up and set your speedometer to 0 and you're good to go. Okay, so there is one little hint. With the cold and hot temperature, it usually sets to 0 once you put it in a cold car, but the only 1 meter that will adjust if you have, say, a full tank or half tank, it's going to reset back to where it was before. And that is the best way to do it, is maybe put some tape there just to indicate where the needle was last, and that way it would be the best way to get the most accurate reading once you remove the needle. Okay, I'm going to remove the needle from the temperature gauge because I want to show the locking hub that's underneath it for the TLS and the TLP for the fuel gauge. Now, just make sure again you get that center pin without touching any of the wires that are in there as well. Just be very, very careful, and then have basically a death grip on that pin and pull, and that should come off. No center pin involved whatsoever. So now you can see the locking hub that's in there. It should come out just like so, like that. Put it aside. I don't have my knife with me, so there you go. That's all you have to do to remove the filter. As you can see, I've already done a little bit of work on this. And oh yeah, I can show you also about the cracks. You can just maybe see a little bit of the crack if you flex it too much. Again, one of my old models, so be very, very careful when doing gauges. And that's it. That's the bonus, and you're ready to go.